Hi guys and welcome to Foxy. Today I'm doing a tutorial on how to do a simple dewy soft makeup look using drugstore products. One very most commonly asked question and messages that I've been getting is that please do a drugstore look, because a lot of people do not want to buy and invest in high-end products because they may not end up using them. But let me tell you that you can do any look with any product of your choice as far as you do it correctly, using the products correctly, keeping steps and everything in line. I think you can achieve any look with any product if you do it right. Now that we're here and we're talking about drugstore products, I'm going to use a few of my favorites and do this look for you. So let's get started. So there's no makeup on my face. As you can clearly tell, there's no makeup on my face. But I'm using, I have already moisturized my face with the Nivea Soft Moisturizer. So this is done, my prep is done. So for my prep today, I've only just used moisturizer and a little bit of lip balm. So I'm going to start with using the Smashbox Primer. I think I've spoken about this in one of my videos. I'm just going to use this primer not to particularly make my makeup last longer, but just to, it's also like a starting and setting spray, so just to kind of refresh. It's very hydrating. So this is just to give it a little hydrating effect, to make sure. I mean, I have normal skin, so it doesn't really get dry, and this product is highly recommended for people with like dry skin. So moving on to the look. I'm going to start. I'm not a fan of filling eyebrows, and especially because I have thicker eyebrows, so I'm going to completely skip that step. So I'm going to start with the eyes. I'm using the Lakme 9 to 5 palette. It's Silk Root is what the name of the palette is. So there are like these 4 pretty colors. There is like a light pink, dark, and there's like a bronze and like a blue. So I think I'm going to use the bronze and mix it maybe with a little bit. I'm just going to take some of it on my finger. I'm not using a brush. Just onto my eyelids. Because I want to keep this look super dewy. It's something that you can definitely wear in the day or at night if you just like kind of hype it up a bit more. Just patting on some eyeshadow to get that little frosty, glowy effect. Now I'm going to move straight to mascara because there's nothing else that I want to do. I want to skip the eyeliner. I'm keeping this look super simple. You can do eyeliner, that's super optional. And I'm using the L'Oreal Volume Million Lashes Mascara because I have mentioned this before, that mascara is the key to great looking eyes. Not too much though. That's it, and that's exactly what I'm going to be doing for my eyes. I want to keep it super simple. You can always add whatever you like depending on what time of the day it is and what kind of look that you're doing, but I'm just focusing on using drugstore products and doing my version of a minimalistic look here. Now I'm going to jump onto the base. The reason why I didn't do base first and then the eyes later, which is what a lot of people have been taught, and a lot of people do, and it's okay to use that method, is just that I prefer doing my eyes first because sometimes there's fallout of eyeshadow. So instead of going through, putting eyeshadow and then cleaning your base and everything, I just do eyes, clean up if there's anything. Luckily there isn't here, and then do base. So that's what I'm going to start doing. Now it's very important, like I spoke in one of my other videos, I think I was doing a review of a product where I clearly mentioned the importance of corrector and concealer. So I'm using this Bolliglow concealer and corrector stick. My shade is Biscuit. I'm going to start with the corrector. So when you're using a corrector, you need to identify the areas that you want to correct. In my case, it's clearly my dark circles and like these spots on the side that I want to cover. So I'm going to start with just adding corrector in those spaces first. The coverage and the areas and everything completely depends on how much you want to cover and what you don't want to cover. because it depends from skin type, texture and everything. The kind of look that you're looking for mainly. If it's something that you want to do in the day, you know, correcting is not even important. If you want to keep it super simple, that is. So, if you can see me looking weird and all this red, it's the areas that I need to correct. Now, what is really important is don't just leave the corrector out there. You need to blend it out because you're going to put concealer over this. So you need to avoid a thick layer. We don't want to look cakey. Because there's going to be concealer and foundation and everything over this. And whenever you're doing any look, and especially a full face, remember that your base should be well done, because that is what is going to, on the whole, show up as an entire look, and it's so important for your base to be correct. Now I'm going to take the concealer and mainly put it on the areas that have the corrector, of course, because I need to cover the corrector. And there might be a few other places that I will use concealer as well. So I'm going to be putting liquid foundation over this. So I don't want to put a very thick layer. And I am personally someone who doesn't like to do full coverage, and especially not when it's really not really needed. Just blending out well. You need to blend out well because you cannot have the corrector being visible. So this is exactly how much I'm going to conceal. Maybe if I was probably doing this look for a wedding or something like super heavy, I would have probably gone a little more onto the correcting and concealing bit. Now I'm moving on to liquid foundation. I'm using the Nykaa Skin Genius. I'm gonna literally take this out on my hand, pick it up onto the brush and just buff all over my face. Make sure that you're blending well at all times, because sometimes the brush leaves marks on your face and you want to obviously avoid that. Applying foundation on your neck is optional. If you can match the color, then great. Otherwise, you may want to put some there as well. And then to finish my base, I'm going to use the Nykaa Compact. Under my eyes, because the skin out here is slightly thinner than the rest of the face, and you have to be careful so that it doesn't crease. And of course my T-zone, which is the most important area because we tend to sweat the most here. And then the rest. And also I'm not putting it on the entire face because I want to keep this look dewy and I don't want to mattify it. So just like in the areas that need it, and then just kind of brush it out around the rest. So this completes my base. Now I haven't done 100% coverage because I prefer it like that, especially when you want to do a dewy look or something looking super flawless. You cannot have a cakey base. So that completely depends on how much you want to cover and how much you want to use and how much you want to not use. It's completely up to you. Let's move on to the blush. Now I was actually looking for, I kept thinking which blush I'm going to use for this look, but then I was like, I'm going to actually show you something really cool. There's this lipstick from Bolly Glow that I'm going to actually use as a cheek tint. So what I'm going to do is, there are no rules in makeup, so I know this is the lip gloss and I'm just going to take some of it, just dot it around my cheek, and I'm going to take a buffer brush make sure that you blended this well. One tip that I want to give you, if you're not someone who uses makeup regularly and you may want to ace this look, powder your face after you have applied this little lip gloss cheek tint on your face. It'll be easier for you to blend it. Now that I have completed this step, I'm going to take the same eyeshadow palette that I used previously and pick up like this white shimmery color. And I'm going to use it as highlighter. This is what is going to give me my glowy effect. I'm going to use a little on my brow bone just to add like the extra glow. My T-zone, just a little bit, because I don't want to like look like I'm going for a party. I'm just going to avoid that. Also, what I may want to do is I'm going to take the same color, just a little under my eyes. Just want to add a little more, you know, looking fresher. Putting eyeshadow on the inner corners of your eye is something that actually makes your eyes look more open, because it's the lighter colors that you put in the inner corner and usually the darker colors that you put at the outer corner. So when you apply a little eyeshadow on your inner corner, it kind of makes your eye look more open and slightly bigger. We usually do this when someone has like really close set eyes. So if you're watching this and you have really close set eyes, I think this would be perfect for you. Okay, now I'm gonna do the last step, and that is lips. So I have two colors here that I think I'm gonna mix. One is from NYX and one is a very light pink from Rimmel. So two colors because I really like the whole nudish pink. And this is the one from NYX is like a nude, and this is a more pinkish color. So I just thought that I could experiment and use both together. This has to be my base because the other one is slightly glossy and this is more like one of those glosses that kind of tends to mattify, which will also make your lipstick last longer. I'm going to go over with the slightly pinker color. Also, this is not a completely matte lipstick. It is semi-glossy but not glossy. It's more like it's got a more moisturizing look. I feel like with dewy looks, sometimes if you add a little bit of gloss on the pout, it also kind of looks nice. I haven't done it, but that's completely optional. Like a transparent gloss wouldn't hurt at all. These are my favorite drugstore products and I highly recommend them. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Do let me know if there are any queries for the same or if there's anything else you'd like to see. Please leave your comments below. Don't forget to follow Foxy's makeup tips on Instagram, and you can find me on Instagram as Makeup and Hair by Maliha. Thank you for watching. Maliha loves.